Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In last class, we have discussed about attraction type over current relay or just simple over current relay with armature type. So today, let us discuss about induction type over current relay. Because attraction type over current relay had some disadvantages. It has no time discrimination and we cannot control the its operation by any means. Whenever current goes above a certain limit, then it will operate. Can you see the screen? Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then this is the concept of actually one scheme of induction type over current relay. From the name, it is clear that there will be a current induced by some means and it will create torque. So simple, there will be a transformer action. So here, this is the induction type over current relay. There are separate different type of induction type over current relay. Among them, this is the watt hour meter type. Induction type over current relay because it has the structure like that watt hour meter. So the like water meter, it has an upper magnet and there is a winding in it. You can see it is carrying current I1 and due to this winding or coil there is another closed coil in which current will be induced and for that for that there will be torque produced and due to that induced current and this disc will rotate and when this disc will rotate there is a contact within the disc. This is the contact. When it rotate and close this 2 point of the trip circuit, then the desired purpose will be served. So actually, in case of watt-hour type meter, watt-hour meter type induction relay, so how much torque will be produced, how fast this disc will rotate, that depends on this current supplied I1 because I current will be induced. Now this I1 current obviously will be proportional to fault current, and obviously through the operation of the relay, throughout the phase of the relay in the system, this I1 will be either system current or fault current. So this coil corresponds to I1, always be energized. So that coil is called timer coil. But that current also can be controlled by some tag that is called plug setting. So if this purple color terminal, if it is the current terminal like this I1 here, but this is not directly fed to the relay, but through some taps. This is called plug setting. Can you follow me? Plug setting means, can you see?
Yes, ma'am.
So here actually there are 7 flux settings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and it is connected. Now it is connected at at fourth position, right? So depending on that, how much percentage of the fault current will be used to activate the relay, that will depend, because it is like a tag. So if it is 100 amp current, so there are different stepping depending on the winding of the coil. It can be controlled, and based on that, the coil I have shown at green color, that is first coil. The one portion is in upper magnet and another in the lower magnet, lower electromagnet. And so two fluxes will be produced on one on upper electromagnet, another in lower electromagnet, and that two flux will pierce through this disc. When it pierces through this disc, then within this disc one torque will be produced, for which the one unidirectional torque will be produced, for which the disc will rotate. And with this there is a contact, is shown by black color. Contact is there with the disc spindle. So when disc is rotating, then this contact is also rotating. So at some time, at a particular time, it will close the contact of the circuit breaker, desired contact to close the circuit breaker excitation circuit. So that is shown by blue color, and it is written here non-directional induction relay. Now, why non-directional? Here, what will be the whatever be the torque produced, that depends on the current supplied, not the direction of the current. There is no provision that a particular direction of current torque will be produced, and for another direction of current torque will not be produced. That provision is not there. So this is not non-directional over current relay. Sometimes direction is also required, because this come in class at time. Sometimes direction is also important, that I shall discuss later. That one can sense the direction of current also, and that disc will rotate only when in a particular direction. Otherwise, it will not rotate. But if it is not that, it is simple, when current flows across a desired value, then disc will rotate, desired torque will be produced, and the relay will operate. And why disc will not rotate at normal position? Because the torque will be sufficient to will not sufficient to overcome the spring backlog. There is a spring with which the disc is kept at a particular position. So when a current is supplied and current torque produced by current, that current goes beyond that spring torque, then only this can rotate, otherwise not. So spring is supplying the restraining torque. I shall not give any more entry. The spring will give the restraining torque, and the current will provide the operating torque. So operating torque should overcome the restraining torque for operation. So generally it is slow in speed. As compared to what? As compared to armature type overcurrent relay, because in armature type overcurrent relay, just for any desired current, any current beyond operating current, it will operate. but here it is the low in lower speed as compared attraction type over current relay. And here time delay can be imposed. Purposefully, we can impose time delay in this type of relay, and that is also important. If we can impose time delay, then only we can discriminate one operation of one relay from another. Say if we want to operate one relay as primary relay and same as one similar relay as the backup relay, then backup relay should operate some time later than primary relay. So there should be some provision so that you can provide time delay for the second relay. So that is possible for this type of relay. Here, actually, this disk, if we see only the disk, then this is the disk. And disk is, on this disk, this moving contact is there, okay? This is the moving position. And when this contact will overlap with this two contact point of the trip circuit, then this trip circuit will be activated, otherwise not. So for that reason, this this contact on the disc spindle connected with the disc spindle should rotate in the clockwise direction as I have drawn. But for that, there is a disc is kept at a particular position using the spring as I have drawn. So it has to overcome this spring position. And there is some arrangement that this moving contact position or the closing contact position you can make forward or backward using this backstop position. Okay. So that say this will move this much of this is the x centimeter. Let me clear this one at first. Say this is to travel this x meter or centimeter distance to close the circuit, but you can move this contact forward, say at this position, or backward at this position. So in that way, what you can do, you can control the operating time of the relay. Okay, so time setting of relay is also possible, and current setting is also possible using the plug setting. Understood why how current setting and time setting is possible for induction type over current relay?
Yes, ma'am.
And this has a special name, IDMTL relay, inverse definite minimum time lag. So actually its characteristic is like this. Obviously this was for any relay also. If this is time, this is current, then this is like this. So when there is a higher current, then time of operation will be smaller. But here that time of operation is definite. That was not definite in case of attraction type overcurrent relay. We do not know when it will operate, for which current. But here there is a gradation. For a particular current, it will take a particular time. That's why inverse definite minimum time lag relay. There will be a minimum time lag and this is definite time lag. Okay. So that is this type of relay actually widely used in case of feeder protection or transmission line protection, because in transmission line actually there are several section. So to to provide discrimination among those section, it is required. Principle of operation I have discussed. Now how the torque is developed. If you see the figure, this was the figure. So here this in the upper magnet there was a flux phi 1 was produced. Similarly in lower magnet one flux phi 2 is produced. So two flux is produced and that is piercing through the disk. Okay. So for that there will be two induced current, I1, I2 are induced current. So if you use the right hand rule, you will get the opposite direction of current. So induced current are in the opposite direction of actual current. So in that way you may match the direction. Anyway, the torque produced or force produced will be at 90 degree with both current and flux. In that way, F1 and F2 will be the two forces developed due to these two fluxes, induced fluxes. And since F1, F2 are in opposite direction, so resultant flux will be, if resultant force will be F2 minus F1, right? Now the force is phi 2 I1 or I1 phi 2 phi 1 I2. From there we can get this relationship. I am not going through the details of the relationship because this is already derived here. I hope you can understand. You go through it. So simply here F will be phi 1 phi 2 sin theta. So phi 1 is produced by current. Actually phi 1 and phi 2 are produced by same current. Okay. So actually this torque or force produced is proportional to I square. So actually torque produced is proportional to current, and there is no time independent dependency on there. This is the time independent force. Now for this, to develop this torque, what is requirement? That there must be some phase difference in between two current. Otherwise, this torque cannot be produced. Now, how phase difference can be done? How this flux can be differed by a angle in phase? For that, we can make the three possible condition: shaded pole structure, watt hour meter structure, or induction cup structure. You know, in case of shaded pole machine, I hope you have already learned. You know, some part of the pole is shaded by some ring. In that case, there is a phase difference in between unshaded pole and shaded pole, and air gap flux in shaded pole is lags behind that of non-shaded pole. In that way, we can create a phase difference. To create the flux torque, we need that phase difference. Otherwise, in watt hour meter structure, actually automatically there will be a phase difference. Otherwise, we can insert R and L in the circuit. Otherwise, if the R and L of the circuits are different, then automatically there will be a phase difference developed. Similarly, in induction cup type, there is a special type of special version of watt hour meter type. Here, actually, four cores are there, four parts are there, four projected poles, and at the center there is a cup type. Cup is mounted for the rotation, and you must remember this induction cup type structure give the minimum of inertia. So as compared to attraction type overcurrent relay, induction type overcurrent relay are slower. But among the induction type overcurrent relay, induction cup type overcurrent relay is the fastest, because this induction cup has the lowest inertia. So it gives the high speed. So these are the three different structure. So actually these are the single input relay. We are giving only one input current and we are getting the torque. Now inverse definite minimum time lag relay. Why this is called inverse definite minimum time lag relay? Because here we can provide a time definite time lag by advancing or by retarding the position of disk as compared to its normal position. Now here we can set the current as well as time. How we can set the current? There is a provision of plug setting. How much current will be provided to relay coil, that can be set. So here there is a percentage, 50%, 75%, 100%. That means if the CT ratio is 400 by 5, then 100% means 5 ampere current will be given to the relay coil. 50% means 2.5 ampere current will be given to the relay coil. That means relay coil will be energized for that 2.5 ampere. In that way, that means relay will operate at 200 ampere current on the primary side. Can you understand? Say 400 by 5 ampere CT. Then with plug setting as at 100%. That means at 5 ampere relay will operate, will tend to operate. That means actual current will be 400 ampere. Now, by just changing the plug setting, if we change the plug setting to 50%, that means relay will operate at 2.5 ampere. That means on the primary side, relay will sense 200 ampere as the fault current or the say risky current. Okay. So in that way, we can change the sensitivity of the relay. That is required. I shall give you one example, then it will be clear to you. So this is the plug setting. So plug setting, there is another term, plug setting multiplier. I shall come later. Plug setting, what is the meaning of plug setting? That means at how much percentage of current relay is set to operate. That is the plug setting. Plug setting is nothing to do with ratio. Plug setting is a percentage of current percentage of normal current or actual current for which the relay will operate. Plug setting, you may say, in terms of city primary current. So if its city is 400 by 5 ampere, then 100% plug setting means 400 ampere in primary side or 500 ampere and the city secondary side, in that way. And plug setting is also different for different type of relay. When we incorporate this relay for only overcurrent protection, say for transmission line, then plug setting is 50 to 200%. But when we use it for earth fault protection, that is for ground fault protection, then we use for it for 10 to 80%, because in that case current is lesser. Then also I shall this thing also I shall discuss when we shall discuss the equipment protection. So plug setting, there is another term, plug setting multiplier. Plug setting, what is that? At how is as simple as that, how at how much percentage of current the relay will operate. So for 100%, if the relay operating current is 5 ampere, if the plug setting is 100%, that means relay will operate at 5 ampere. If plug setting is 50%, then relay will operate at 2.5 ampere, right? Then there is another term, plug setting multiplier. Why does it require? Actually, for overcurrent relay, there may be huge range of current. There is actually infinite range. For any current more than the desired value, it will operate. So for different relay, the range of current will be different. So one ratio or a one multiplier is derived so that we can make that wide range of current to a smaller range, and we can make them comparable. PSM is required to draw the operating characteristics of the relay. So it is a derivation of current, you can say. PSM is, say, ratio plug setting multiplier. That is actual city secondary current by plug setting current. So, say actual city secondary current, say 5, but you have set it at 2.5 ampere. Then plug setting multiplier will be 2. So, in that way, say for any relay, say actual city secondary current is 6. You have set the plug setting current at 3 ampere, then also it will be 2. So they so two different types of IDMTL relay will be in the same will be comparable using plug setting multiplier. That is actually the use of plug setting multiplier. Otherwise, you can directly draw the time current characteristics of the relay, because for overcurrent relay, time current characteristics is important. For a particular amount of current, how long the relay will take to operate. That is the time current characteristics. So this is the one method to calculate plug setting multiplier, actual city secondary current by plug setting current. So if the PS is 100%, then plug setting multiplier will be 1. Otherwise, primary current by primary setting current, both are same, because if the city secondary current multiply numerator and denominator ratio, then you will get it. Now primary current, primary setting current is city low because relay is on the city secondary side, so it may be little high. Why I am giving this different type of forms? Because the information may be given in different type of form. We can calculate the plug setting multiplier in this way. Lastly, primary current by primary operating current. Say primary current is 2000 ampere during fault, and primary operating current is 200 ampere. Relay will operate at 200 ampere. So at the moment of fault, the plug setting multiplier will be 2000 by 200, that is 10. In that way. Time setting I have already discussed. Time setting is by adjusting this contact position on the disc spindle, there is a backstop for with which we can make it forward or return. So in that way, we can change the time setting of the time of operation of IDMTL relay. If we make this contact forward, then obviously relay will take lesser time. Relay will operate faster. Otherwise, if we make it backward, then relay will take longer. Relay will operate slower. So obviously for primary relay, we shall forward it. For if we want to make it as backup relay, we may make it return. And in the time dial, there is a time dial where it is marked from 0 to 1 in second. So actually in terms of time also, there is a time multiplier setting. So when you are forwarding or returning the backstop, that means you are modifying the actual time of operation. So time multiplier setting is actual time of operation and time of operation under 100% time setting. 100% time setting means there is no change. Wherever with the original position of backstop, it is there. There is no advancement or retardation. And after changing, what is the time of operation? That is the actual time of operation, right? TMS is zero point 0.5 means time setting is 50%. That means if the relay time, actual time of operation is, if the 100% time setting is the time of operation is 5 seconds, then it will take 2.5 seconds to operate if the time setting is 0.5. If you see the relay panel, if you could see in the lab, then the relay panel is in this way. There is written 2.5, 3.755 in that way, not in percentage. So from here you can set at which current you want to operate the relay. Okay. So in that way, this is the plug setting multiplier or plug setting actually. Plug setting multiplier we can derive from here. From plug setting, we can derive this plug setting multiplier. And similarly, time in second is also given in the relay. This is actually one figure of relay, one photograph actually. There is contact here. This contact actually go downward when relay is operated, and this white portion become red. Change relay is changed. The status is changed, and from this visual observation that relay has been operated. This is the time setting dial. This is the fixed mark. This time setting dial may be for this disc may be forward or backward, on which based on which this time setting will be changed. This is the disc, this is the time, right? And this is the plug setting. By changing this plug here, it is now it is at I think 5 ampere. We can change it. So this is the thing. Actually, there is experiment of on this relay in the third, fourth year, second semester. I do not know whether we will be able to do it or not. Now, what you have seen, the time kind characteristics of relay, it was the similar type. This side was current and this side was time. And with change in current, time will be lower. But in case of IDMT relay, we do not draw current on x-axis, but we draw PSM. Then the entire range of current can be made within a very short range, within 20, like that. For fault, it may be 200 also, but not in the sense of 1000. And we can make the time of operation. Then obviously, PSM is more current is available at the relay terminal. So time of operation will be lesser. So IDMTL relay characteristics always done time versus PSM, not time versus current. Now, if we set the time setting advance, that means actual time of operation is less than original time of operation. That means the TMS is 0.8. Then what will happen? The time of operation will be lesser. So this curve will go downward if we change the time setting. Similarly, if we change the plug setting, then for lower current it will operate. Plug setting 50% means if the relay, if the city secondary is 5 ampere, then for 2.5 ampere relay will operate. then obviously for lower current it will operate. So the relay characteristics will go downward. Have you understood this plug setting, multiplier and time setting?
Yes, ma'am.
It is quite confusing. You go through the class notes later and again brush up these things. Now, if we draw the time kind characteristics, if we compare the time kind characteristics of overcurrent relay, right? Then, for the instantaneous type overcurrent relay or the armature type overcurrent relay, there is no definite time lag. So, IT equal to K, that was inverse relay. I to the power N into T equal to K, that is a very inverse relay. That will be dependent on the magnetic circuit of the relay. There may be extremely inverse relay or fuse we may call a relay, because fuse after a certain current it will just melt and disconnect the circuit. But for IDM TL type relay, you can see for a particular current there will be a definite time lag. So we can assess that if the fault current is this much, then what will be the um, time of operation. So that is very much important for transmission line protection, because for transmission line, if it is a single end feeding, if you go from receiving end to sending end, then current is gradually increasing. So if the current is gradually increasing, then time of operation should be gradually decreasing. That we shall not get for other relay except IDMTL relay. That's why IDMTL relay is so much important. Now you see, just if we want to provide a protection to a radial feeder by overcurrent relay. Radial feeder means single end feeding, right? So there are three transmission line part and there are loads. These boxes are showing the relays. Let us concentrate on the relays R1, R2, R3. If we provide same type of relay, then characteristic will be same. You may see here the characteristics are drawn in opposite manner, but not. It is true, because if you see the time current characteristics, it was like this, right? Now here for single end feeding, current is gradually increasing in this direction. So these characteristics are correct. Have you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So here you see when we go towards the source, then obviously current is increasing because by KCL currents are additive. But you see at the relay R3, the time of operation is same as for the relay of R1. So there is no discrimination, no selectivity, no overlap. So we cannot provide any backup protection scheme. Okay, when there is a fault here, obviously all the relays will trip, because if R1 is if the current is high at R1, then it is far higher at R2 and R3. So discrimination or sensitivity cannot be provided. So this is the limitation of instantaneous overcurrent relay. That means the relay we have learned at first. That is armature type overcurrent relay. So this type of relay is not so useful for transmission line protection, but it is useful for earth fault protection in generator. Because in generator, if there is earth fault, that is the most fatal fault, maximum current flows through the circuit. So in that case, we need a instantaneous disconnection. So that may be provided by instantaneous type overcurrent relay. So what is the application? For earth fault protection of generator or other equipments. Whatever I have discussed, it is written here. Now, we can provide some time lag in series with that relay. Using that, we can provide some definite time lag. That means we are using a relay circuit, so that relay will operate after some delay. Say here, R1 is operating, say, for particular this much of time, right? So R2 will operate at this time, R3 accordingly. So the time span, the difference between R1 and R2 is called discriminating time margin. Discriminating time margin means it can differentiate the operation between R1 and R2. So in that way, we can differentiate the operation. So it will be helpful when there is a fault at R1. When there is a fault at R1, then R1 will try to operate at first. If it operates, then it is fine. If it is not operating, then under this DTM, this R2 will operate. If R2 fails, then after this DTM, R3 will operate. So in that way, we can provide a backup protection along with, say, primary protection. But the thing is that this time lag is definite. This delay is applicable for any type of fault. So when there is a fault at R3, then near R3 or this first section of the feeder, then R3 cannot operate at first. R3 will take in that case also this much of time, right? So then that case, severmost fault near the source will be disconnected at maximum time. So that is a disadvantage. So this is not so fruitful. This we may use for less important line when there this is not a source but some substation or short length of line. Then we can only use, otherwise not. Have you understood discriminating time margin and definite time lag?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if we put WAV or IDMTL relay, then what is the advantage? Say we have used same relay, same characteristics, same example. But you see here it has definite time current characteristics. So automatically this DTM will be there. So when there is a fault at R1, then R1 will operate at first. If R1 fail, then with this time lag, R2 will automatically operate. Or R3 will operate R3 will operate for this much of time lag, right? So in this way. But this will not affect the operation when there is a fault near R3. When there is a fault near R3, then if this is the current, then R3 will operate for this much of time. So here discrimination is provided. Along with that, the protection is suitably provided. When there is a fault near the source, it will be disconnected at first. So this way, IDMTL relay is most beneficial in case of feeder protection. Actually, inverse definite minimum time lag relay is used when there is a for transmission line protection or for feeder protection. Okay, and you must remember here the current is always unidirectional on the under normal operating condition. During fault, the direction of current may change. Next, let us see some example. So it is clear that IDMTL type overcurrent relay, IDMTL OC means overcurrent relay, is generally used for radial feeder protection. That is most useful as compared to the inverse type overcurrent relay or instantaneous type overcurrent relay. So what will be the consideration? How we shall set the pickup current? So pickup current should be such that relay will operate for all type of fault of its own zone. That means the primary relay, there is a primary operation zone of operating zone of that primary relay. Then whatever be the type of fault, it should identify that one. It should identify, discriminate between fault and the overload. That should be there, and it should provide backup with reasonable time lag. When it is operating as backup relay, it should give a reasonable time lag with the adjoining zone, like this one, that example I have shown. So this is if R1 is the primary protection, then this is the primary protection. But when it is using as backup protection for the R2, then it is providing a discriminating time margin, right? Now, what will be the pickup current? Pickup current should be above the maximum load current. It should not identify load current as fault current, but it should be below the minimum fault current. When it is near to the fault current, it should operate. That's why fault analysis is important. So it has to be selected considering minimum fault current it can receive. So that's why we analyze we calculate fault current at different fault position, right, near at generator terminal, at the transformer primary, transformer secondary. That is the reason. Should be high as possible to allow PSM to be least during fault. Current should be as high as possible. If the current is high, then obviously PSM will be considerable. The pickup of a given relay should be somewhat higher than that of relay nearer to the fault. Otherwise, there will be no selectivity. It should discriminate pickup time from the other. Selection
Ma'am,
of fault current. Yes.
ma'am, it means that we can use IDMT both on the load side or on the generator side, right?
Near, not load side, near to the load, near to the load or near to the source. Actually, in the transmission line, because
Okay.
it has this type of characteristics. Otherwise, for the uh, instantaneous type lower current relay, what was the characteristic? Like this, is not it?
Yes, ma'am.
So there is no discrimination of time. You had to
Yes.
provide that one using the time delay. But time delay was definite. That's why IDMTL relay is the useful. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Selection of fault current. Obviously, we shall do the fault analysis and minimum fault current we shall select as the for the relay setting. That's why you know for the generator, ground fault is the severe most, and for the transmission line, three-phase short circuit is the severe most. In that way, we have to set the relay setting. Time setting, we have to say, time setting we can set using the discriminating time margin. How much time margin you want to give, that you provide adjusting the backstop. I shall give you one example.
Means we
Real
can manually set this time lag mean.
one time. Say if you set it for one fault, you can set it is for one only at once. For different fault, you cannot set it because then the setting will be
Ma'am,
changed.
then we can set minimum time at the source side, so we can use it that discriminating time in the for the generator side also.
That means you are not, so you are telling for the source side relay.
Okay.
Is
Oh,
not it?
means that, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Relays are different. Okay, there will be several relays. One relay is not saving the total circuit, total transmission line. There is a separation of that. For every segment of transmission line, there will be a relay. Actually, at every crossing, every substation, right? So relay near the fault should operate at first. Obviously, if the fault is at near the load, then the relay at the near the load will be operate at first. In this example, so if the fault is here, then R2 will operate at first. If the fault is here, then R1 will be operated first. So R1 will have minimum time lag when it is used as primary protection. And depending on its characteristic, automatically it will have higher time lag when it will be as used as a backup protection, because that is the characteristics of IDMTN relay. I hope you have got your answer.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
So if it now it is not that one relay is used for the all fault protection. For different fault protection, there are different relay. For phase fault protection, that means A to B phase, there will be a relay. For ground fault protection, there will be a relay. So there are different type of relay, and depending on the fault current for that particular fault type, there will be relay setting. Understood? It is not that one relay is serving all the purpose. It is not possible for the conventional relay. But for the digital relay using programming, we can do this one. but obviously the sensing will be different for different type of protection. Relay near the fault should operate at first. Obviously, backup protection should be provided, maintaining minimum DTM with PPR. PR means primary relay. That is this I have told here. That means there will be minimum. This DTM should be there when this R1 is used as backup protection. But when this R1 is using as we are using as primary protection, then there is no question of DTM. It is direct time. Now, what will be the time of operation for a relay? Say this this is the time of operation of relay 1, say T1, and time of operation relay 2 is T2. Then after how much time, what will be the time of operation of T2? T1, this relay 1. Then when this relay 1 will operate? Relay 1 obviously wait, at first relay 2 will operate. Now this is not the thing that relay one will not start operation. It will just wait, stand still, and relay two will operate. It will fail, then it will start rotation. It will not the case because it will the operation is dependent on current, dependent on torque development. So when there is a fault near R2, then obviously there is higher current near R1 also. So both the relay will tends to operate. But when this R2 is operating as primary relay, so R2 will operate at first, or you can say that in that case the disk of R1 is at some backward position. So it will take more time to come at the contact position, right? In that way. But so when there is a fault, all the relay will tends to operate. So at first the primary relay will operate, and if it is not, then after some time the backup relay will operate. Anyway, if the time of operation for primary relay is T2, T2 means say there is a fault at T equal to 0 second. Then after 0.1 second relay has operated, relay has closed the contact. That means T2 is 0.1 second. That means relay has closed the trip coil circuit. Relay has given the signal to the circuit breaker to operate. Then circuit breaker will also take some time to operate, right? So that time say B2. Then sometime it may happen that there is some time of over travel of the relay at station 1, because when there is a relay it is operating as a torque, is not it? So it may go beyond the contact point, then again it will get back to the original position like this. Here, it does not means you do not assume that when there is a higher current, the torque is produced, its moving contact will go at a particular speed and it will directly superimpose with the strip coil circuit. It may not happen. Speed may be so high, it may over travel, it may come here. Then after some time, it may be rest at this position. Obviously, it will rest here, right? But it does not means it cannot over travel, right? So that is the thing that I want to say. So when this relay is want to operate, it wait at first for T2, the relay time taken by this relay 2, then breaker operation B. Then there is some factor of safety is given that it may happen, it is taking time, but it will operate. So that factor of safety will be given. Along with that, this relay can make some over travel. Then total will be the operating time of the relay 1. So in that way, relay time is set. Let us give some example, then it will be clear to you. At first, First example is only to calculate PSM and TSM. So PSM, plug setting multiplier, so it is given plug setting is 150%, CT ratio is this one. Time of operation is 1.575 and fault current is 6 kiloampere. That means fault current is 6 kiloampere. So if we start from primary side, then in primary side 6 kiloampere current is flowing. And what is set? 150% of 500. That means 750. Right? I have started here from secondary side anyway. Then if we go for secondary side, then 6 kiloampere. So secondary side current will be 60 ampere and 150% is plug setting. So if the secondary current is 5 ampere, then relay will operate at 150% of that. That means 7.5 ampere. Then what will be the plug PSM? 60 by 7.5, 8. Similarly, if we go from primary side, that as I was discussing, primary current is 6000 ampere and we have set at 150 of 500, 750. So relay setting, plug setting will all again be 8. Then again from method 2, plug setting current is plug setting into CD primary current. From there you will also get 8. So in this way we can get. Now you see time of operation is given that 1.575. But if you go for actual relay characteristics, when there is no advancement of the backstop, relay is at the then if there is no time setting, there is no advancement of backstop, then relay will take this type of time for this type of PSM. Then our PSM is 8. So for that time is 3.14. But here time taken is 1.575. So there is some advancement because time is operation is more days than the actual time of operation. So in that way, time of operation is 1.57, 3ms is 1.575 by 3.15, so 0.5. Understood this one? Have you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Second example, I given another actually data. You calculate PSM yourself only for practice. The same way you calculate. Next is, say there is a transformer. I am not describing. There is a transformer. There are two feeders with it. There is a fault at this feeder, right? Plug setting, time setting of these relays are given. And transformer can operate at 30% overload. You have to calculate the operating time of this feeder relay, when it will operate. Time setting is given 0.3. That means it is not 100% time setting. So time setting is actual time setting by the time setting at 100%. So whatever actual time setting, we shall multiply it by 3. So if the time is 3, actual time is 3, here it will take 0.3 of that, 0.3 times of that, so 0.9 second. Understood it? So here fault current is 5000 ampere. We have to calculate time of operation. Fault current is given, PS is given. From there we can calculate PSM. If we calculate PSM, then we can get actual time of operation, whatever be the TPSM. So if we get the actual time of operation, time multiplier setting is given. So from there we can get the time of operation for this particular configuration. So PSM, just primary current is given, plug setting is given. From there related PSM will 10. If PSM is 10, then time is 3. But here time setting is 0.3. So obviously the time of operation will be 0.9 second, right? Then it is written that suggest a suitable plug and time setting of the transformer relay. For transformer relay, plug setting and time setting is not given. You have to suggest that one with to ensure a discrimination of 0.5 second. That means if this relay fails, this will operate after 0.5 second. So discrimination is 0.5 second. So we have got that this feeder relay will operate at 0.9 second. So if we put a discrimination of 0.5 second, that means this transformer relay will operate 0.5 second later. So when it will operate 0.9 second plus 0.5 second, that means 1.4 second. So this is the time of operation. Understood? Now transformer rated current you can calculate from rating. Then 30% overload is allowed. So this is the 30% overload. Now for transformer, plug setting is not given. So plug setting is the primary setting current by CT secondary current. CT secondary current is 1000 ampere. So from there plug setting is 136%. But 136% is not available. So plug setting will be 150%. There is a definite plug setting. We cannot get it as our requirement. Then if we set the plug setting at 150%, then instead of 130%, 136%, then what will be plug setting multiplier? We can calculate this is 3.33. I am telling this faster, you calculate yourself. If plug setting is 3.33, then for 3.33 time is 5.6 second, right? 5.6 second. But we have seen that for this feeder relay, the time was 0.9. Time was 0.9. If we want to give discrimination of 0.5 second, then time here will be 1.4 second. Then what will be this time setting? 1.4 by simply it was 5.6, right? That is written here also, right? 1.4 by 5.6. So this will be the time multiplier setting. In this way, we can provide the discrimination. Okay, we can to provide discrimination. What will be the time delay? What will be the plug setting? We can set. So actually here, depending on primary relay, this is an example to set the secondary relay. Considering in mind, keeping in mind that the transformer will not operate for the 30% minimum 30% overload. Since we have taken plug setting more than that, it has come 136%, we have taken 150%, so we have taken more than 30% overload into consideration. Understood? Go through the examples and come to the next class. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Possibly all the doubts in one class. Please leave the meeting.